What was the catalyst? What was your life like at that point that made you say, you know what, this is it. I'm going to actually pursue my dreams here. Like, what happened there?
So I had I'd achieved a few things in my life. I'd got my black belt in judo and I'd finished university. And I was doing music at the time, and the band I was playing in had picked up quite a bit of steam to the point where we were having this meeting in the Sony building on Madison Avenue, and it was open there. We're on like the third top floor, so we're pretty high up near the top. And I remember thinking that it was going to happen for music. And it's weird because music was a secondary dream for me because I actually didn't believe I was big enough to be a wrestler, believe it or not. So I was doing that, and then it didn't happen. And then we got offered some indie deals and stuff like that, and we lost a bit of steam, and it all just kind of withered away. And it got to the point where it really felt like I didn't have a lot to show. I felt like I didn't have anything to show from my 20s to that point. And I just thought, I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life if I don't go for this right now. But it was easy because I felt like I had, and I'm not saying I didn't have nothing. There's people in this world who really have nothing. So I don't mean like that. I just mean figuratively in terms of achievements. It wasn't like I had this, high paying job that was demanding my time or anything like that. I really, and I wouldn't recommend people do this. This is not me saying you should do this. But, I just got a couple credit cards and was like, right, let's do this, So, and I'm not telling other people don't do that because that was paying that off for a long time after. So, but I did just pretty much train full time from 2013. Things started to happen pretty quick, but yeah, it was from what felt like again, not truly having nothing, but nothing to lose. I would say it was from that point. But I mean, there's been several moments like that. I felt I had the same feeling when things closed with Ring of Honor, and I mean, it's kind of it's been in past now, so I suppose I could speak about it. When that happened and I was kind of stuck over here and things weren't moving, I was trying to plot my path, back to to Impact, because I knew that it was I knew Impact was the company that were going to have faith in me because, I've mentioned this in a few interviews, but Scott D'Amore did an interview with a British newspaper where he said, who do you think could be a future world champion? And he gave this interview before Josh Alexander and Moose won the championships, but he mentioned them and he mentioned me as well. And I thought, well, if management have that kind of faith in what I'm doing, that's probably a good place to go. And like I say, I genuinely believe that we have the best professional wrestling product on television. And I feel like the thing is, so many people say to me like, oh, that song that you've got for Impact, I've actually had that song throughout my whole Ring of Honor run. But I think there's a few differences. One is the song is very much tied into the traits of what we're doing with the character in Impact. I think that we've paid a lot of attention to that. So I think that's one of the reasons that people are taking to it more. Visually, I think it's everything's tightened up as well. And I think Impact is the perfect home for me. So I'm very excited to be here for sure.